Hey guys, it's Sid, and today I'm going to be explaining for you Western astrology. Now, this video is going to be a little long because there's so much misconception about this topic. Most of you guys only know what your sun sign is, but there is so much more in your natal chart. You have signs for all of your other planets and houses too, which I sort of like to call your earth signs because it has to do with the timing of your birth and, the zodiac constellations on the ecliptic, how they move for that timing of your birth. I'm going to have timestamps down in the description so you guys can fast forward to certain parts of the video if you really want to. But I'm going to get into this in order: elements, modalities, planets, houses, and then the actual signs. So let's go. For the planets, there's elements. We're using 4 elements, not 5, not including spirit today. Each sign, there's going to be 3 signs that correspond with each element because there's 12 signs. So for Earth, it corresponds with pentacles on the tarot, and manifestation time-wise, if you're interested in that, Earth grows slowly, so it's going to take years to manifest something. And then Earth is about physicality. It's grounding, it's remembrance, it's fertility, it's the seed of life, and it's also manifestation. It rules Saturn, Mercury, and Venus, and the signs it rules are Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. And for air, it corresponds with swords on the tarot. Manifestation-wise, air flows quickly, so it's going to take weeks. Air represents thought and freedom. It's the current of spirit, it's guidance from above, and it's going with the flow. It rules Uranus, Venus, and Mercury, and the signs it rules are Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. For fire, it corresponds with wands on the tarot, and manifestation time-wise, fire burns fast, so it's only going to take days. Fire represents life force, abundance of light energy, all things fiery, aggression, fighting, but also integrity, endurance, and dedication. It rules the sun, Mars, and Jupiter, and the signs it rules are Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. For water, it corresponds with cups on the tarot. Manifestation time-wise, water cycles with the moon, so it's going to take months. Water represents the unconscious, its emotions, and its current of thought. It's this loving, fertile, mothering energy. It rules the moon, Neptune, and Pluto, and the signs it rules are Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. So now for modality, just like there was elements for each of the signs, they all have a modality, kind of like a level of stubbornness, if you will. But there is 3, there's cardinal, mutable, and fixed. So for each sign, there's going to be, there's 4 signs for each modality. So cardinal, they are the creative people. They're the go-getters. They don't like being diverted from the task at hand. Once they have something in their mind, once they think it out, they're going to go, they're going to do it, put all their energy into it, and they're going to be the leaders of that project. They're at their worst when they're indecisive because they always put all their energy into this. So when they're indecisive, it's like all this energy, where? Nowhere. So it's very frustrating for them. These signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. They're ruled by Mars, the moon, Venus, and Saturn because those are the planets that rule those signs. But Aries, they're just always so dedicated to their music or their sport or that adventure they're about to go on. Whatever they're doing, they're so into it. They're so dedicated. Cancers, they're always very homey. They're wrapped up in their, bonding life, whether it be they're hanging out with the homies or they're at home, rearranging their feng shui. Cancers are just homebodies. Libras, they're very concerned with society. They want to get involved and sort of fix stuff. They're very social, so if they see something they don't like, they really want to just involve themselves in that. They put all their energy into that. And then Capricorns, I don't like calling them workaholics because I've seen other signs be much more of a workaholic than some Capricorns, but they just are hard workers in their natural element. Like at their core, they're just pure. They appreciate working hard. They don't want to do something half-ass. So that's a good thing. Then for mutable signs, these people are the adaptable people. They love change, love variety, love diversity. They get bored easily, so they want a lot of excitement in their life. They like changing up the scene. Traveling to them just seems so amazing. They're at their worst when they're tied down. Like I said, they're flexible. They want to go to new situations. They want to learn and experience different things. They understand that in life the only constant thing is change and shifts and cycles, so they're down for that. These are Geminis, Virgos, Sagittarius, and Pisces. They're ruled by Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune. Gemini, they're the twins. So they can have different changes of mind. They're very mutable in their thought. Virgo, they're the least stable of the earth signs. They're the least stubborn of the earth signs. So you can sway their mind if you have to. Sagittarius, they are the philosophers. Once they hear a new idea, that could set them on a different path. Sort of same with Pisces. They're spiritually evolving. So if they get a hint of something else they like, they're like, oh, I'll go there. They're down to go with the flow. And then the fixed signs. These people are self-assured. They're persistent. They kind of already know, what they want. They know what's theirs. They just know. They don't really need your opinion. They're down to hear it, but they kind of already have their situation figured out. They're at their worst when they're emotionally unstable. They're dominating people, not in a negative way. They just don't want you to dominate them. They would rather be the person to show you what's up. This is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So it's ruled by Venus, the Sun, Pluto, and Uranus because those planets rule those signs. Taurus, they're the most slow to change of the earth signs. You can change their mind over time. It'll just take a while. They kind of already have it figured out for themselves. They sort of need to learn their own way. And then Leo, they're the most dominating sign in the zodiac. They're a fire sign, and it's the most fierce of the fire signs. So you don't want to tell them what to do if they're in a bad mood, especially. They can figure it out themselves. Scorpio, they're very powerful in their thought. Once they kind of have something figured out in their mind, that's what they're going with, and that's it. They made their mind up, they're good. Aquarius is the most dominating of the air signs. For every modality, there's one: air, earth, fire, and water. And Aquarius, they just already have their thoughts in place, and they would love to have a conversation with you and hear your idea, but it's not going to change their mind. They're right. So that's that. All right, now I'm going to be getting into the planets. So the sun, it's fire, it's cardinal, it rules the sign of Leo, and it rules the solar plexus chakra. Now the sun represents self-expression, it's consciousness, it's the yang, it's physical energy. And your sun sign is where the sun was when you were born. It's the sign everyone already knows. It represents the energy you give off to the world and how other people see you. So it really is your most prominent sign. So I guess it's good if you know one of them to know that one. Moon. The moon represents water, cardinal. It rules Cancer, and it rules the heart chakra. So the moon represents intuition. It's the unconscious. It's the yin and emotions. Your moon sign is what constellation the moon was in when you were born. The moon changes signs every few days, so that's why people don't really know their moon sign. It's something you have to Google. And it just represents how you feel on the inside. It's your deepest desires and how you feel when you're alone. So it's really like the second most important part of your natal chart. If you guys don't know your moon signs or your other planets, like right now, take a quick break, go to astro.cafeastrology.com, click on free birth or natal chart, and just put in your info. If you know the time, then you'll get your houses too. But your planets are very important. If you don't know the time, you can still get all of your planets. It's a great tool to use. So Mercury, its elements are earth and air. It is mutable, and it rules the signs of Virgo and Gemini. It rules the throat chakra because Mercury is all about communication. So your Mercury sign is the constellation Mercury was in when you were born. It represents how you confront things, how you speak, and how you communicate. So your Venus, it is air and earth. It is cardinal and fixed. It rules Libra and Taurus, and it rules the sacral chakra. So Venus represents love and values. It's bonding. It's personal magnetism. And your Venus sign is where Venus was when you were born. It represents your relationships and your love and sex life. So it's a very important sign to know. And it's very important to have compatible with your partner. So then Mars, it's fire. It's cardinal. It rules Aries and Scorpio, and it rules the root chakra. Mars represents aggression, ego, sexual drive, competition, and assertion. So your Mars sign is the zodiac constellation that Mars was in when you were born. It represents how you handle problems and how you handle aggression. Jupiter, it's fire, it's mutable, it rules Sagittarius and Pisces, and it rules the third eye chakra. So Jupiter represents philosophy, travel, religion, understanding, and expansion. So it's where Jupiter was when you were born. It represents your belief system and your morals. Saturn, it's earth, it's cardinal. It rules Capricorn and Aquarius, and it rules the crown chakra. And Saturn, it represents responsibility and limitations. It's fear and collective law, and also has to do with time. So your Saturn sign is where Saturn was, what constellation it was in when you were born, and it represents how you take on tasks and how you handle responsibility. Uranus, it's air, it's fixed, it rules Aquarius, and it has multiple chakra points. I say it rules the third eye, the throat, and the solar plexus chakra. It represents freedom, it's unpredictable change, and it's your intuition and individualism. So whatever constellation Uranus was in when you were born, it represents your urge for freedom and your individualism. Neptune, it's water, it's mutable, it rules Pisces, it's like Uranus, it has multiple different chakras. I say it rules your crown, your third eye, and your root. So up there and down there. And then it represents sensitivity, dreams, intuition, and compassion. So your Neptune sign represents your sensitivities and just your intuition. It's like Uranus and Neptune, they're very unconscious feelings that you feel, but these signs have great hold over your life in the long run. You know what I'm saying? And then Pluto, it's water, it's fixed, it rules Scorpio, and it rules the root chakra. It is the planet of transformation, sex, compulsion, but breakthroughs. So where Pluto was when you were born represents your rebellious nature and change. Pluto stays in the same sign for about 14 years. So these end of the line planets, they stay in these signs for years. It's a generational thing. my Pluto's in Sagittarius, just like everyone else born around the same time as me, and you can really see that being the planet of transformation, it's all in Sagittarius. We're all this fiery thing, and it's the planet of sex. In Sagittarius, it's a pretty hoey sign. Not gonna lie, I'm a Sagittarius. Like, you can just tell this generation's Pluto is in Sagittarius. You can tell that is what's ruling their root chakra right now. And everyone in my generation's Neptune and Uranus is in Aquarius. This is the age of Aquarius. And it's like our intuition and this unconscious mind and our rebellious nature is all in the sign of Aquarius, this rebellious air sign. So being an Aquarius and Sagittarius, like everyone in this generation, you can really just tell and see where this is going, you know? We all have this same kind of like thought process towards these unconscious emotions and feelings, and people don't realize that. I feel like your astrology has a lot to do with these generations. So I'm going to be talking about the houses now, and then we're going to get into what each sign actually, you know, their personality is. Because I really believe your astrology, it is your personality while you were being born into this life. Entering this life, your astrology is your soul's personality. So if you don't know the time of your birth, you're only going to know the planets, but if you do know the time, you can get your rising/ascendant sign and the rest of your houses too. There's 12 houses. I'm going to be explaining the elements and basically modalities for the houses too, because they're just a little bit different. So Earth, its houses 2, 6, and 10, and it represents more material things. Air is houses 3, 7, and 11, and it represents more social aspects. Fire is houses 1, 5, and 9, and it has more to do with your actual identity. And then water is houses 4, 8, and 12, and it has to do with the emotional side of you. So the modalities for houses are actually called like triplices. I just like calling them modalities still. There's angular, I can't say this word, succedent, you know what I mean, I hope, and cadent. So the angular houses are houses 1, 4, 7, and 10. They represent action, and it's more of the present time scale. So this modality relates to the cardinal modality of the planets, and these signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So now the succedent, I don't know how to say that, houses are 2, 5, 8, and 11. They represent security and purpose, and they have more to do with the future timeline. These relate to the fixed modalities of the planets, and these signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Now for the cadent houses. This is 3, 6, 9, and 12. It represents learning and transition. It has to do with more of the past time scale, and it relates to the mutable modalities. These signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So your ascendant/rising sign, it is the sign that is on the eastern horizon of your birth chart. It's at like the 8 o'clock mark on your birth chart, and then it goes counterclockwise 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 12. And then 10 is your midhaven, supposedly at the top, but it usually doesn't actually align with the top of your chart. I know this is kind of more in-depth astrology because I've been researching this for years, but that is how your houses work. It has to do with the time of your birth, like I said before. So I like to call these kind of your earth signs, and there's 12 of them. It just corresponds with different aspects of your life and morals. So it's really interesting to see that. So ascendant, it's fire, it's angular, and it is ruled by Aries. So these kind of go in order. Like your ascendant, it's not like everyone's ascendant is an Aries. I'm just saying it's like It's like before how certain signs rule planets. Like Aries and Mars and the root chakra rule the ascendant position. And your ascendant, whatever your ascendant sign is in, it represents how you handle new situations and the first impression people get of you. It is like the house of life. So it's just how you handle new things. I say it's like the third-ish most important thing in your birth chart. And then your second house, it's Earth, it's succudent. I don't say that right every time. I'm sorry. It's ruled by Taurus and Venus, and it rules your sacral chakra. So it represents how you make trades, and it's how you handle money. It's your material security. It's the house of wealth. And then your third house, it's air, it's cadent, it's ruled by Gemini and Mercury, and it rules the throat chakra. It represents how you communicate, how you move throughout life, how you are as a sibling. Okay? It's like the house of, brothers and sisters. It really represents how you are as a sibling with peers, because that has a lot to do with how you communicate and carry yourself throughout life. The fourth house, it's water, it's angular, and it's ruled by Cancer and the moon and the heart chakra. So it represents how you develop and cultivate things. It represents stuff about your home life, but really it's how you are as a parent. It can also be kind of how you are like as a boss, but I correspond this to how you are as a parent, how you develop and cultivate things. It's your home life. Your fifth house, it's fire. It's succudent. It is ruled by Leo and the sun and the solar plexus chakra. It represents how you learn and creatively express yourself. So this is how you act as a kid. So that's really interesting. This is how you act as a kid, how you express yourself using creativity. Your sixth house, it is earth. It is cadent. It is ruled by Virgo and Mercury and the throat chakra. It is the house of health, but it represents your overall well-being. It's the amenities you have. That is the main thing about this. It's your well-being because it's the amenities you have in your life. Your seventh house, it's air, it's angular, it is ruled by Libra and Venus and the sacral chakra. It represents how you account for things, how you are as a partner. It is the house of spouse and partnership. It's how you act with people and how you take accountability for things. Your eighth house, it's water, it's succudent. It is ruled by Scorpio and Pluto and the root chakra. It represents how you can serve things. So this is the house of death. It's the house of transformation. It has to deal with sex, but it is how you kind of can serve things and deal with transformation. And then your ninth house, it's fire. It's cadent. It is ruled by Sagittarius and Jupiter and the third eye chakra. It represents philosophy and your journey and foreign affairs. This is the house of journeys and all things kind of foreign to you, this new stuff that you get, and philosophy. So it's really like the house of philosophy and has to deal with more of your beliefs and how you integrate these new things you learn into your life. And then your midhaven. This is the 10th house. It's called the midhaven. It's usually like the southernmost point in the sky when you're born using this form of Western astrology. So it's earth, it's angular, it is ruled by Capricorn, Saturn, and the crown chakra. It represents how you govern, how you achieve success. It is like the house of the kingdom, but it's really kind of how strict you are, how you govern people, how you are as a boss, really, more than your fourth house, say. But this represents more of how you govern, not just cultivating things. And then your 11th house, It is air. It is succulent. And it is ruled by Aquarius, Uranus, and Saturn, the third eye, the solar plexus, the throat chakra. This one's kind of all over the place again. And then it represents bonds, how you are as a friend or an ally. It's the house of friendship and how humanitarian you are. It represents really these bonds you have with people. And then the 12th house. It's water, it's cadent, it is ruled by Pisces, Neptune, and Jupiter, and it's ruled by the crown, the root, and the third eye chakra. It represents how you handle entrapment. It is the house of imprisonment. It is your unconscious. It is your dreams. It's like deep desires in you that you don't even know you have. Okay? It's the freaky house. Even though there's a house of death, I really think your 12th house is pretty freaky too. So that was all your houses. This video is getting a bit long now, but now we can get on to each of these signs. So I'll tell you my signs in case you're curious. Sagittarius sun, right on the cusp, and Aquarius moon. My Mercury and Venus are in Scorpio, and then my Mars, Uranus, and Neptune are also in Aquarius, like my moon. But my Jupiter is in Cancer, and my Saturn is in Gemini. And, of course, my Pluto is in Sagittarius. So, let's get into these signs. Aries. Sun signs is March 21st through April 19th. Now, I would listen to all these signs and look at your birth chart because, even your houses, one of my houses is in Aries. I believe my 8th house. I remember most of my houses, but in the middle there, I kind of forget, which is sad. But I'm gonna have these memorized by tomorrow. So Aries, it's fire. It's cardinal. It is ruled by Mars and the root chakra, totally. And Aries, they're so eager. I love that about Aries. They're so eager. They're so dedicated and outgoing. They're competitive. They're confident. And they're the first sign in the zodiac, so they are the leader. They're brave. They're courageous. They're passionate. They're quick. They live in the moment, and they love activity. They like fancy and stylish clothes, but they also like comfy clothes. They have their own sense of style that everyone kind of loves. They're very expressive of their quirkiness. They will embrace whatever personality they got. They own it. And they always try to be aware as possible. They don't like not knowing what's going on. They want to be aware. They were born with a sense that they were meant to do something great. They always are trying to do something. Like I said, they're that cardinal sign, the go-getters. They try so hard to live up to all these expectations of them. They love listening to, but they love creating music. They're so analytical. They're analytical, but they tend to make impulsive decisions. It's kind of contradictory. They'll think about all this stuff, and then at the last minute, they'll be like, oh, I'm doing this. It's like, what? You just thought about that for so long, and now you're doing this. Okay. They can get jealous. They can be selfish. And they're the sign most prone to, excessive patriotism and just being too rah-rah about something. They're always, thinking that they're number one. They think they're the best. They can be rough. They will bottle up emotions. This is the thing you don't notice about the Aries. They bottle up their emotions. They don't know how to deal with their past, so they'll just bottle it up. They think all these critical thoughts of themselves, of others sometimes, and that's kind of the worst thing about them that they need to try to work on. Taurus. April 20th through May 20th for the sun signs. It is an earth sign. They are fixed. They are ruled by Venus and the sacral chakra, and they're just practical people. They're stubborn, but they're reliable and they're consistent. They are so caring and so devotive. They're patient people. They will devote themselves to you, and they'll just be patient at what you're going to give them. They'll wait. They are romantic. They're sensual. They're generous. They're like nurturing, and they're well grounded, and usually they're such good cooks. They like material things, but they really appreciate natural things. They love like natural like cotton fabrics and stuff, and they feel the need to always be surrounded by beauty or to make themselves like look presentable. They're very sensitive to touch and taste. So like they're ruled by the sacral chakra. They're very sensual, and they not like they love being touched, but it's like you can walk up to a Taurus and hug them if they're in a good mood, if you know them. If not, they might kick you in the shin. And they stick to what they focus on. If they have something in mind, they're gonna keep doing that. They have traditional values. They have a very relaxed side to them, though. They like having their comfy space. They want to go home to their comfy living room and have their own little space. They care for everyone around them so deeply. This is the type of person that just loves hosting parties because they have a wild side. They're usually pretty organized with their finances, though. They're emotional, but they're guarded. They need time to build trust with someone, especially if they've been hurt in the past. But even if they aren't, they just always have this guard up, kind of from the beginning. Because I don't know what happened in their past lives, but they're just like, don't break down the wall unless I really trust you. And they long for this security and tenderness. They're really a gentle lover. And once they make an intimate connection, they want to have that connection for the rest of their life. They are willing to put the work in and just have this connection forever. They might need to kind of shift their perspective to find real, true love. Because like I said, they're set in their ways. They might need to shift to open their mind to something new that's really the thing for them that's been right in front of them. They can have anger issues, and when they get invoked, they can be very aggressive. Sometimes, this is what I put about Taurus, they just want to sit and lay around and be fed sometimes. Sometimes that's just what they need. That's the big baby in them. Gemini, it's May 21st through June 20th for the Gemini sun signs. It's an air sign, mutable, ruled by Mercury and the throat chakra. They are so curious. Like, they just want to find out everything. They're gentle, they're social, they're very expressive and adaptable. They're smart and they're skillful, but they're adventurous and they're humorous and they're very clever. Like, they love exchanging ideas. They like switching up things. They're quick learners and they speak their mind. They like reading. They like listening to music. They love talking. And they like big open spaces. They don't want to be like confined in. They like the openness. They're very quick-witted. If you say something to a Gemini, they'll snap back right quick at you. They're forever searching for new people to like have this like awesome conversation with and conspire with, because they have such a vast mind, and family is really important to them. They constantly feel like they don't have enough time to experience everything they want, though. They're so fascinated with the world. Like, they're a traveler too, honestly. They are excellent writers and artists. They're very verbally communicative. And emotional bonds are very important to them. They need excitement in their lives. They're always ready to flirt, and they honestly just love being naked. They like traveling. Like I said, they're indecisive. They're inconsistent, and they're restless, and they can get nervous. And this is the one thing I notice about Geminis. They can lose interest in a whole topic in like 0.5 seconds. You could be talking to them, you think so in-depthly, and then the next second, they're like, yeah, peace. You're like, oh, okay, bye. But they need a partner that's going to give them space. They don't need someone super clingy all the time that's going to be on top of them, unless like their moon sign or something corresponds to that. But they aren't one for a clingy partner. They are totally down to sexually experiment, but they're very unpredictable, and people say they're two-faced. They really just have different multiple personalities. I'm bipolar. That's okay. You can have multiple personalities. Everyone does. But that's just the thing everyone seems to notice about Geminis. And then Cancer, June 21st through July 22nd for the sun signs. They are water. They're cardinal. They're ruled by the moon and ruled by the heart chakra. They are very sympathetic people. They're so loyal and emotional. They're harmonious. They're brave. They're cautious, though. They're compassionate. They're sweet and tender. They're so sweet. They're highly imaginative. Like, they hold on to emotions, though. If you say something, they'll hold on to that. If it's special, they're not going to forget it. They like art. They love just like relaxing in water. They're the crab. They're deeply intuitive and empathetic. They care a lot about their home and family. They're the homebody. They love to help, and they're very sensitive to the moon's phases. This is the person that is going to feel the new moon, the full moon, the super moon, all of that. They feel it. They understand that all things are balanced in nature, and what we give comes back to us. They understand the balanced and karmatic aspect of the universe from basically birth. They don't have as well developed coping skills, though, for the outer world. Because they're so sensitive, it's just so harsh here. They kind of need a little help in childhood approaching this world. They tend to be very traditional, and they have certain like courtship behaviors if they're trying to court you and be romantic. Family bonds are like very important to them. They make wonderful parents usually, and they tend to know like what their children are feeling even if they're really far away from them, which is super cool. They love preserving memories. These are the people that are going to have a memory box or something. They like being social, though. They love the social scene. They like having nonverbal communication. They love a good conversation, respect those they can have an easy conversation with, but they really like just that nonverbal connection too. And they want someone they can talk to, but if they aren't talking, they don't want to feel awkward. They want to just like hold that peace in the moment, which is great. And these people see other people for their emotional being, not just for their status. They kind of see them for all they've been through, all their emotions. And they tend to usually work better alone, even though they like the social scene. They just kind of need their own alone space sometime to recharge. Security and money are important to them, and they want to travel eventually. They should have a partner that makes the first move. They need a loving partner that is going to be comfortable with them and protect them. They're genuinely interested in their partner's life. This isn't someone that's just going to be like, They're going to be like, oh, like, babe, that's so cool. They're, like, going to get really into you. They need to feel love, not just sex, even if they won't admit it. They will not admit it sometimes, but they crave actual love. If you're just hooking up with people and you're a Cancer, you know deep down inside that you actually want to feel true intimacy. And they are trustworthy until they get scared or they get really hurt. And no one has to know about the sacrifices they've made or the obstacles they've overcome to get to the place they're in now. Like, if they have their peace now, they have it. They don't have to tell you all the crap they went through to get it. That's for themselves to hold on to and them to know only. They seem to like have trouble showing their talents to the world. They're very talented, but they don't know it. They can confuse privacy with dishonesty. So this is someone, if you're in a relationship with them, they're gonna be like, you hid that from me, blah blah blah, and then the other person's gonna be like, no, like, I wasn't, lying, I was just hiding it from you, and it'll turn into a fight. They have a lack of patience, and they can sometimes be needy. They don't really like criticism, and they can be moody. They can be manipulative if you've hurt them, or insecure. They don't really like strangers, and they they don't forget betrayal. If you betray them, they will not forget that. They might act like they did, but they remember that forever. They're not aware of their strengths, though, and they're ready to make unhealthy compromises and be misguided by those they admire. They can end up knowing that they went the wrong direction, but once they start relying on themselves, that's when the path comes around the right way. They just need to be careful with their boundaries. And then for Leo, it is July 23rd through August 22nd for the sun signs. They're fire. They are fixed in their ways, and they are ruled by the sun and the solar plexus chakra. They are so cheerful. These are the loud, confident people. They're generous, though. They're harmonious. They're dramatic. They're creative. They're outgoing. They're fun. They're energetic. They're passionate. They're dominant. They're brave. They are outspoken, and they're the protector. They are respectful yet blunt, and they show their feelings with ease. They're strong-willed. They're warm-hearted, and they keep their head held high. They face others with dignity, and they love their body. They love theatricals. They give lots of gifts, and they can be really committed. They're natural-born leaders. They like showing off their strength. They are good problem solvers, and they can achieve anything that they commit to. They're proud of their ancestry, and they have a need for independence. They like bright colors and expensive things. And search for self-awareness is really the thing with Leo. They just really want to be self-aware, and that's what they're kind of looking for throughout life. They like hosting celebrations. They can be loud, but sometimes they need to be praised. They're rarely alone. They don't really like being lonely. They like being in that social scene and being the center of attention. They're their own boss, though. Like, they can manage others. They don't want you to boss them. They don't want to talk about things that are emotionally difficult. If you ask them what's wrong and they don't want to talk about it, they're going to find an excuse not to talk about it. They want to be treated like royalty, though. They feel like they are, the king of the jungle, and they want to be put on that pedestal whether they will admit it or not. They enjoy sexy communication, they like flirting, they like sexting. They cannot have a partner with low self-esteem. They need someone that is confident like them. They need someone that they can rule with together. They don't need some crybaby that they have to constantly pick back up. They need a reasonable and expressive partner on the same intellectual level as them. They have a clear understanding between love and sex. They might fail to see how an emotional connection can improve the quality of the relationship. So they understand the difference between just having a thing with someone and really being in love with them, but they need to understand that having an even deeper emotional connection with that person will make it even better. They don't really understand the depths of how intimate it can get. They can be self-centered, and they can be unsatisfied or grumpy. They unconsciously neglect the needs of others on their quest for higher status. So they'll forget about other people while they're just trying to work their way up. They can be selfish or bossy, and they don't really feel guilt. They kind of always have an explanation for their actions, just like everyone. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. It is Earth, mutable, ruled by Mercury, ruled by the throat chakra. They're so kind. They're analytical. They are hard-working. They are loyal. They're careful. They're smart. They're conservative. They're private. They're easygoing. They're peaceful. They have good common sense. They love animals. Animals love them. They love nature, and they like healthy food. They're down to cook up a healthy meal. They are practical. They're organized, and they have a deep sense of humanity. They like fixing things, even if they're not that great of a mechanic, which honestly, somehow they usually are. but they're good at fixing things, even just little things they like fixing. They're very attentive to the elderly. Like, if they have a grandma or a grandpa or something, it's like if they're sick, they're like gonna go and run over and take care of them so quick. They are dedicated to their family, and they're proud of their upbringing. They understand tradition and the importance of it. They understand the importance of responsibility, and they have a well-developed sense of communication. They're very good at talking. They're good writers and speakers. They are very artistic. They pay attention to detail, and they're usually good at saving money. They like spending it, though. They have specific dreams, like a specific goal that they want to accomplish. It's a big one, too, but they're going to get there someday. They are born with a sense that they're experiencing everything for the first time for some reason. Even if you're an old soul and you get thrown back into Earth as a Virgo, you're like, ooh, okay, I feel kind of new to this whole thing, but you got it down pat. They're here to help serve others. They're shy and they worry. They're misunderstood and they have insecure emotions sometimes. They don't give their own feelings validity. Like, they'll feel a certain way and they just won't even acknowledge it. They don't think about their emotions. They just sort of go through life acting like it's not happening. Their disappointment seems inevitable. Disappointment seems inevitable for them. Like, it's not like that they're always in a negative mindset, but when they're doing something, they don't expect that they can succeed, and if they did that, they would just be so much more successful overall. They have an inability to feel worth or loved. They don't think that people will love them for some reason, and they rarely make a direct statement of love. If they are in love with you, you will not know. Like, you could know, but they're not going to just do something elaborate. They won't do it. They usually enter romance very slow. They need to feel important to someone in order to give themselves fully to them. And they need to build that trust up. They're not just going to open up to you right off the bat. Having an inspiring partner will really open them up more, and it'll make them express themselves more, which is what they need. Their need for change often overpowers their self-imposed moral restrictions. So they put these moral restrictions on themselves when it comes to sex or something, but then their need for change is what will make them go against that. You know, this is like the Virgin, and then it's like she does it, and it's like, that's what this sign is like. They have this formula in their head for how they want their partner to be, and if it's not like that, then they'll just sort of move on after a bit, or real quick. For Libra, it is September 23rd through October 22nd. Now, this is an air sign. It's cardinal. It's ruled by the planet of Venus and the sacral chakra. These people are social. They're fair-minded, but they have a bruised ego. They're cooperative and diplomatic. They're peaceful. They're gentle, gracious, and calm. They're very charming and very tactful. They like sharing with others. They like the outdoors, and they're strong-willed. They're very confident. They're deeply romantic. They're flirty. They're inspired by good books and really good discussions that'll just inspire them. They need to have music in their life. They need to have beautiful places in their life. They need that, like, beauty in their life. They enjoy being taught about new things, and they're usually a good parent or role model to have. They're ready to share everything that they know with their children. They're always in search for truth. They're very convincing speakers. They're good salespeople. They're good designers. And the key to their happiness is finding balance. It's the scales, they need balance for true happiness. They create a certain image for the outer world. Like, they have this idea of what the world is, and they need to be more open-minded to change that. They're ready to do anything to avoid confrontation. They really don't like it. They have a strong pull towards tradition and will sometimes just agree with their family members to avoid the conflict. Like I said, they don't like conflict. They'll just agree with family to avoid the fight. They make maintaining their relationship, like a harmonious relationship, their primary goal. Like if they're in a relationship, they are going to make sure that it is like standing good. That's going to be what they put their energy into. They want to discuss everything with their partner. They're like an open book with them, and they're in search of a partner that will set clear boundaries for them. And once they decide to be with someone, it is a lifelong lasting bond. They can be indecisive though and insecure. They really dislike injustice. They are like the fair-minded people. They can pity themselves and they can hold a grudge. They lack the initiative needed to like organize people that work for them. This is what makes them sort of need an assistant. If they're going to be a boss or something, they shouldn't be the one having to divvy out jobs to people. They like nice clothes. They like expensive material things. They can act childish, and their priorities seem to be misplaced sometimes, and they need to break their dependencies from people and just be their own self. Scorpio, October 23rd through November 21st. It is a water sign. It is fixed. It is ruled by Pluto and Mars and the root chakra. These people are mysterious. They're resourceful. They're brave. They're passionate. They're fierce. However, they're misunderstood. They can be assertive. They're very determined people, though. They are fair. They're powerful. They're confident. They're intense. They're supportive. They're competitive. They're curious. They can keep a secret, all right. And they're quick-witted. They're full of surprises. They're very emotional, even though you don't really see it. And they feel like they don't fit into anyone's expectations. They are really a true and loyal friend. They're excellent leaders. They're good at managing. They love being right, and they'll speak their mind. They're good at problem solving with a thorough scientific approach. And once they set a goal, there's no going back. They're not afraid to work hard to get themselves in a better financial situation, and they're good at saving money and thinking before they invest. They're usually decisive and has a desire to do good in the world. This is like their main desire. They just want to do good. They want to make it. They want everyone else to kind of make it with them too. They don't see life worth living if you aren't doing it right. They will research until they find out the truth. They hate dishonesty. They are capable of incredible compassion and understanding. This sign is able to understand so well and be so compassionate. They know what goes around comes around, and they find joy in sharing the hard truth that they observe. They usually have a lot of friends. They usually don't mix friends with business. They like to be around fun and loving people. They like to tease. They want to experiment. They crave excitement. They like change and spicing up the routine, even though they're stubborn. Intimacy is very important to them. This is the freaky sign. They are seductive. They are flirty. They have spontaneous sexual experiences. They need an intelligent and honest partner. They want a tender partner to protect. They need time to build respect for their partners. They will give you everything you need, but if you let them down once, they will cut you off. They love wholeheartedly, but love can turn to hate with this sign. When they're in pain, it's almost impossible to make them feel better. They just have to go through that pain themselves. They don't know how to act when they're hurt. This is when they make irrational decisions. They can be vindictive. They're violent, they're jealous, they're suspicious, they're aggressive, they can be obsessive, and they can be possessive. And they sometimes look a bit older than they are. I'm not saying that is a rude age thing, but like 3 lives ago, I was a Scorpio, and I had gray hair at 30-something, so that just proves. Sorry, that was my experience, but that proves they can sometimes look older than they are. I said sometimes, okay? Sagittarius, November 22nd through December 21st. So this is a fire sign. They're mutable. They're ruled by Jupiter in the third eye chakra. They're adventurous. They're generous. They're independent. They're optimistic. They're idealistic. They're wild. They're the wanderers. They're outgoing. They're very blunt, enthusiastic, energetic, playful, childish, frank. They're honest. They're faithful. They're loyal. They're dedicated. They're courageous. They're strong, vibrant, spontaneous, romantic, inquisitive, and they're intensely curious. They are a philosopher. They're open-minded. They're the logical thinkers and risk takers. They have a big smile, and they have very expressive facial expressions, and they like change. They love traveling and being outdoors. They need freedom and value it over almost anything else. They greatly enjoy diversity. They love to laugh. They enjoy long and deep conversations. They want to wander the world and search for the meaning of life. They're interested in religion. They want to figure out all of these different religions, and they see all of life's possibilities and crave investigating them all to find the truth. They believe the universe will give them everything that they need. They see life as like a big adventure. They're determined to live life to the fullest. And they understand that not many people can give them the fun that they crave. They crave all this fun, but they realize that that's just kind of in their head, and this world isn't all really like that. They want to make everyone's life better, and they believe that they know what's best for everyone. They are able to transform their thoughts into action, and they will do anything to achieve their dreams. They'll do anything for their family. They're always helping those in need, and they have a really good sense of humor when they're surrounded by friends, especially. It's easy to sense when something's wrong with them because they just act different. Like I said, they're very facially expressive. They don't like clingy people. There's a thin line between sex and love for them. Usually they have multiple serious connections throughout their life. They're an excellent lover, but they're hysterically clumsy when it comes to sex. They're prone to fall in love quickly. They need an intellectual and adventurous partner. They need a partner that is sensitive yet expressive and will not settle for being unhappy in a relationship. They'll just cut you off. They need someone that gives their life meaning and who they can grow with. They will say anything no matter how undiplomatic. They need to learn how to express themselves in a socially acceptable way. The way they express themselves just isn't usually accepted easily by society. They need to work on that. They can be tactless or impatient when they really need to say or do something. They like imposing their beliefs and opinions on other people. They cannot continue to rely on others for happiness. They need to find their own happiness. They have to find a way to stay realistic. They're uncoordinated, they're pushy, they're superficial, and they're sometimes overly confident, and they can have rage outbursts. They easily lose focus, and they lie to themselves. I guess that's better than lying to other people, but they can also do that in relationships and be unfaithful sometimes too. Capricorn, December 22nd through January 19th. So it's Earth, it's cardinal, ruled by Saturn, ruled by the crown chakra. They are very responsible, very reliable, very respectful. They're wise, they're intelligent, they're ambitious, they are persistent, they're tactful, they are concentrated, they're committed, they're loyal and honest, they're very dedicated, very independent people. They are very protective and practical. They have traditional values. They're very resourceful. They're a perfectionist. They're serious but quirky. They're open-hearted and have very strong instincts. They value family and money. They have very good self-control and know how to lead the way. They get the job done right. They make good managers, and they very much enjoy quality craftsmanship. They appreciate hard work over anything else. They make realistic plans and rational decisions. They prefer reality over intangible dreams. They crave the feeling of accomplishment. They learn from their mistakes. They fear the feeling of guilt, and they understand the consequences of their actions. They respect and live by karma. They have high expectations of themselves. They get to the top by having pure experience and expert advice. They usually make strict but fair parents. They sacrifice their own benefit for other people. They're very generous. They take everything to heart. If you say something and it touches them, they'll take that to heart. They aren't going to forget it. They want to feel safe and secure. They are prepared to stay with the right partner forever. They don't normally make relationships a priority. They might lack true intimacy, and they need a partner that they can connect with on a deep level, on an emotional level. They don't really know how to act in love. They expect others to feel comfortable around them no matter the level of affection that they give off. They take a long time to unveil all of their emotions, and they're focused on the material world. They are brave enough not to run away from their issues, but constantly fear them. They feel connected to their past still. They need clarity that everything is taken care of all the time. They can be judgy. They can be condescending. They have a hard time accepting differences in people. They lack compassion. When talking to their loved ones, they can be really snappy and rude. It isn't usually they aren't willing to compromise. They are stubborn. They are unforgiving. They're unsatisfied. They're demanding. They're distant. They can be secretive, overly critical, and they think that they know it all. Aquarius, January 20th through February 18th. Air, fixed, ruled by Uranus and Saturn, and they are ruled by the third eye, the solar plexus, and the throat chakra. Chakra's very spread out here. They are the humanitarian. They are original. They are progressive. They are independent. They are energetic, enthusiastic, and open-minded. They are the rebel. They are unique. They have a unique sense of humor. They are calm and collected, but they're very intellectual. They have a vast imagination. They are visionaries. They're deep thinkers. They're good listeners. Strong views. They have a dignified attitude, and it can be hard to understand them. They don't care much about the taboos of society. They like interesting and intellectual conversations. They're good problem solvers, and they're able to see without prejudice. They're willing to take risks, and they crave excitement and adventure. They're always on the quest for inner peace. They love and will fight for freedom. They believe in equality and enjoy helping others. They will do anything for a loved one and usually don't judge. They will stand up proudly for what they believe in. They don't like government. They're not usually Republican or Democrat. They're like, screw them all. And they have the desire to make a difference in the world. They're easily adaptable. They need an honest partner with integrity. Romance tends to start out as a friendship, and they're attracted to people who stand out from the crowd. They are interested in experimentation. They need to build confidence in order to express love. They like having fun with friends. They feel at home in community. And they don't like a dull moment. They just always need that little spark of excitement. They need time alone to recharge, even though they don't really like being lonely. They don't like limiting themselves, and they hate when promises are broken. They don't like possessive people. They can be shy, timid, temperamental, unpredictable, indecisive, inflexible, unreliable, inconsistent, uncontrollable, and can be insensitive towards others. They tend to run from emotional expression. If you say, tell me what's up, they're going to be like, bye. They need to learn to express their emotions in a healthy way. And last but not least, Pisces, February 19th through March 20th, water sign, mutable, ruled by Neptune and Jupiter, the crown, root, and third eye chakra. They are very intuitive. They're very compassionate. They're wise. They're gentle. They are devoted. They're musical. They're artistic. They're caring. They're friendly. They're romantic. They're sensitive. They are selfless. They're straightforward. They're spontaneous. They're mesmerizing. They're faithful. They're dreamy. They have spiritual connections. They're sensitive. They're empathetic. They're childish. They're forgiving. They're accepting. They're generous. They will always help others. They have a great desire to please people and they expect others to be as open with them as they are. They battle intense emotions inside them, and people don't realize this. They feel like they're constantly playing a role, and they're in search for their identity. They're sick of constantly living up to other people's expectations. Communication is key to understanding them. They have a wild imagination. They're social, but they're really a loner. They love to laugh. They're ready to take on an adventure. They have a good sense of humor. They're usually really funny. They're good problem solvers. They're hardworking. They don't think about money that much. They're focused on their dreams. They enjoy swimming. They like sleeping and alone time. They will repeatedly give you what they think you want. They need a partner they're comfortable around with, that won't judge them and can take a joke. And they want to be treated with respect. They have a hard time trusting and opening up once hurt, obviously. They need a partner that can experience true intimacy with them. They will love wholeheartedly until nothing is left of that relationship, and then they will move on. They don't like being criticized. They don't like people who think that they know everything. They will act like someone else in an awkward situation and can get tangled up in the emotions and opinions of others. They change their mind when they feel pressured, and they hold on to sadness. They don't like bad things from the past resurfacing. If it's in the past, they want it to stay there. They don't want it to come back up. They can be overly trusting, unpredictable, fearful, shady, provocative, and can be extremely manipulative and will lie for selfish reasons. They are scared to tell the truth in fear of other people's reactions, and that is why a Pisces will lie to you. So that is pretty much it, you guys. I hope you don't get too, hurt by the negative things of the signs. I typed all this stuff down from knowing a lot of people. I know a bunch of people with every zodiac sign, guys and girls, so I think about all of them when I typed that stuff. I hope you guys really go on astro.cafeastrology.com and do the birth chart. It's so worth it to at least once in your life see all of your planets. So thank you guys so much for watching. I have that Cafe Astrology website in the description. It's the first link along with all my other sources down there. You guys have probably noticed my 2 little tattoos that I've got. Since I started this YouTube, I've had 6 piercings, 3 in each ear. So I'll share with you guys when I get new stuff. This 316 stands for March 16th for my first love, who is a Pisces sun, Sagittarius moon. And 316 is just important to me also because this year on March 16th, 2019, I was in 5D for multiple hours, and I will share that experience with you guys another time. But this 33 is for my second love, and he is a Scorpio sun, Libra moon, like I was 3 lives ago, but this life, all of our other planets are in the same sign because he was born 9 days before me. So all of our morals are kind of aligned, which is pretty awesome, but 33 is also just important to me because it is a important spiritual number, and I'm comfortable having these tattooed on me for the rest of my life. So there's that. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you next week with another video. Love and light, and the hybrid children are coming soon.